Hi, this is Cassie Moore. This is FireFly Review on Friday, January 1st, 2026. What I loved about the show, created by Joss Wheaton, separating the art versus the creator's bad behavior. Firefly Serenity, Season 1, Episode 1. A true space odyssey that meets the Wild West, the power struggle of the alliance that controls the core planets, and their desires for domination and ruling people, their defeat over the enemy, and the harsh realities of the settling core that they've created, the alliance patrols and how they treat people, how they view the outer border people with contempt and disgust. Sergeant Malcolm Reynolds as Mal, captain of the Firefly, a man of mystery, and he was a sergeant on the losing side. He fought in the war and had to see a lot of his friends and soldiers die. Shepherd Buck, the older gentleman passing through, working his way through life. He was a preacher from an abbey, and the ambassador slash companion, high class call woman that pays for her journey on the Firefly. The ambassador. It's fascinating they would call her that. Guess that's just a kinder way of saying compassion. Compassionate way of saying companion. The ambush. The captain makes a deal with an old acquaintance that's taken over a settlement in the outer rim. And she tries to double cross him, which they anticipated and block. And they get their money. When they offloaded their cargo that another client didn't want, they encountered reapers, which are demonic humans that have been scientifically altered and now live as demons and ravage villages and eat humans as cannibals. This group is particularly terrifying. The reapers are very interesting from a sci-fi fantasy show, representing the darkness of humanity and giving into the demonic desires that people have when they go too dark and give into their own evil desires. Conclusion: the conflict of the captain's character is setting up a arc for possible redemption. The rude way he treats others and his crew versus how he cares about his crew and defends them till the bitter end. The introduction of River is sad, and her and her brother, the doctor, trying to flee from the Alliance after her being experimented on since 14 years old. The emotional, physical, and psychological PTSD that she has to probably struggle with the rest of her life that is embedded in her is very sad. The wrap up: what, if anything, do you think the social consciousness would be if this happened in real life today? Do you think the government could get away with this with the extreme experiences and experiments on the populace? Hey, it's me again. A further deep dive of Firefly, Season 1, Episode 1. The Doctor as Sean Mayer, and his character's name is Simon Tam, River Tam, and the actress is Summer. Character assessments: Nathan Gillian as Captain Mal Reynolds, Gina Torres as Zoe Washburn, and Alan, I can't say his last name, sorry guys, Alan as Walsh, Joel Satie as Kaylee Fry, Adam Baldwin as Jane Cobb, Maureen Backram as Inara Sorry about butchering these names with my southern accent. And Ron Glass as Book, the preacher from the Abbey. Genius versus madness. Dr. Simon Tam, the character, represents the genius side, and his sister River Tam represents madness. And what we have here? Simon represents that the extreme genius can be used for good. That sometimes the ends doesn't necessarily always justify the ends, but in this case it did, so that he can hopefully get his sister to safety away from the predators that are trying to chase her, hunt her down, and use her as collateral and as a weapon. And River Tam as the one that was pushed into madness by the scientists. Spoiler alert, by the way, for later on. And she was being experimented on and was used as a weapon and tool for the Alliance government. Surprise, surprise. The Reapers, the question, what do they represent? And they represent the way science crosses the line into all the wrong boundaries with their experiments. Again, spoiler from the movie. And how are their existence as Reapers, how do they drive the story? They drive the plot as the ultimate villain that can't be redeemed, only better off as knocked off because of the depravity they've been pushed into by science. Excuse me. Another question. How does the relationship between Dr. Simon Tam and Kaylee affect the show? Kaylee was the mechanic. She befriends the doctor and his sister, makes them feel at home, and welcomes them aboard the ship. And the Reapers are the ultimate boogeyman of the show that help drive the main characters to defend themselves against all odds and to show another dynamic of the show with them fighting back against the Alliance and their experiments and truly fearing what the Reapers are, because the Reapers represent the worst side of humanity. They represent the darkness that has overcome humanity in certain characters and certain humans on the show. The Reapers represent the cautionary tale of what happens when science and desires go too far for better improving the human race. Well, that's all I have for now. Over and out.